The Big Bang. Probably the most amazing event that has ever happened in our universe. The scientists have not yet understood all the details of this incredible event. It is still a physical mystery how the Big Bang happened, and what force has been driving the universe apart ever since. According to the standard cosmological model, the Big Bang happened about 13.8 billion years ago. According to scientists and the cosmologist Alan Guth and his inflation theory, the universe should have consisted of a single compressed point at the beginning. After a short moment after the beginning of creation, it is said to have experience of drastic expansion. If Alan Guth's theory is correct, gravity came into being after more than a billionth of a second. After another ridiculously short time period, electromagnetism and strong and weak nuclear powers were also created. A moment later, swarms of elementary particles followed, like photons, protons, electrons and neutrons. But the big questions we need to ask ourselves is, where did these elements come from and why was the universe previously a single compressed point? Surprisingly, the Quran mentioned already about 1400 years ago. Didn't the unbelievers see that heavens and earth were one unit, which we then divided? In physical terms, the Big Bang is the beginning of the universe from an infinitely old, infinitely dense and infinitely small state, the so-called Big Bang singularity. This singularity is something we can't imagine. Like, there were no dimensions before the Big Bang, it was only the single compressed point. Until 1920, it was believed that the universe had always existed and also that its size was fixed and did not change. However, in 1912, the American astronomer Vestus Slipher made a discovery that changed the astronomers' view of the universe. Slipher observed that the galaxies were moving away from Earth at high speed. These observations were the first evidence to support the theory of an expanding universe. The confirmation of the theory that the universe was expanding came in 1929 by the world's famous American astronomer Edwin Hubble. By observing redshifts in the light of wavelengths emitted galaxies, Hubble found out that galaxies are not fixed in their positions. Instead, they move away from us at speeds proportional to their distance from Earth, which is also called the Hubble's law. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has already recited a verse from the Quran to his companions that clearly states that the universe is expanding. And have we built the heavens with our power, and behold, we are expanding them still. That the Quran mentions such facts centuries before the invention of telescope, at a time when there was only primitive knowledge in the sciences, is remarkable. If the universe had looked just a little bit different when it was created, if gravity had been slightly stronger or weaker, or if expansion had been just a little faster or slower, then there probably never would have been stable elements that could form me, you, and the Earth. A problem that still exists in the Big Bang theory is that the Big Bang model does not explain the Big Bang itself, but only its consequences are explained. We still do not know what happened before that. Just the idea that there is something that has no cause, like the Big Bang, which many scientists state is paradoxical. Even if it is not relevant for our everyday life, we should ask ourselves these questions. Margaret Geller once stated, "I feel that in our attempts to understand the large-scale structures of universe, we are missing some essential element." What is this element? What is the driving force in the universe that keeps expanding it? Without doubt, we must ask ourselves these questions and come to some conclusion. This channel should be dedicated to interesting topics that are not usually found in everyday life, but are nevertheless important for people to understand themselves and the universe. This channel tries to explore scientific topics and expand people's minds about scientific topics and Islam. If you want more, then subscribe.